Something happens to a woman as she approaches her 30s that almost no one wants to talk about. Her standards rise. Her expectations sharpen. Her patience disappears. All of a sudden, the man who was good enough at 22 is nowhere near enough at 30. And yet, at the exact same time, her real dating options begin to narrow quietly, invisibly, year after year. This isn't about judgment. This is about psychology, biology, culture, and pressure all colliding at once. Women feel it, men feel it, and relationships often collapse under the weight of it. What happens to women after 30 isn't random, it's actually pretty predictable. And if you can understand it, so much of modern dating starts to finally make sense. So let's break it down. As a woman gets older, something subtle shifts inside her, not just emotionally, but psychologically and socially. In her early 20s, the world feels wide open. She has time, youth, possibilities, and very little pressure. She dates for fun. She experiments. She's focused on her career, friendships, travel, and freedom. Nothing feels urgent. Life is an adventure. But as she gets closer to 28, 29, 30, the world around her starts whispering. Friends, family, TikTok therapists, empowerment influencers, they all start asking questions. Are you settling? Are you sure he's the one? You deserve more. You still have time. But only for now. These whispers aren't just external. They come from her own biology, too. Women begin to feel the weight of time earlier and more intensely than men. This isn't because they're dramatic or insecure, but because society often links a woman's S-value to youth and desirability in ways men simply don't experience. That pressure makes women start to reassess everything: their job, their lifestyle, their friendships, especially their relationships. This is where the big standard shift begins. The kind of man who was attractive and exciting at 24 suddenly feels insufficient at 30. It's not because he got worse, it's because her expectations have evolved. A woman in her 30s is often looking for different qualities. She wants stability, direction, emotional intelligence, financial responsibility, maturity, leadership, and ambition. She wants a man who knows who he is and where he's going. Someone who can build a future, not just vibe in the present. Someone who can protect and provide, not just entertain. Someone who can commit, not just occupy her space for a while. But here's the dilemma that many women don't openly discuss. As their standards rise, their real dating options often shrink. This isn't because they become less valuable, not at all. It's because the dating market works differently for men and women as they age. A popular way to think about it is that men often age into their value, while women can age out of their perceived options. I want to be clear, this doesn't mean women lose their inherent worth. It means that men often gain leverage. A man at 30 is frequently just stepping into his confidence, stability, purpose, and financial power. He now has access to a wider range of women, including those he couldn't have approached when he was 22. Meanwhile, a woman at 30 begins to feel that pressure we talked about: the ticking clock, societal expectations, the fear of choosing the wrong partner. This creates a really difficult psychological trap. Her standards are rising because she finally knows what she wants and needs in a long-term partner, but her available pool of men who meet those standards seems to be shrinking, partly because men her age now have more choices than ever before. This combination can create a lot of anxiety, frustration, confusion, and for many women, it leads to a state of denial. You hear phrases like, "I'm not settling," "I know I can do better," I don't need a man to be happy. I refuse to compromise on my list. But here's a hard truth that most people won't admit. After 30, many women aren't just raising their standards because they want more from a partner. They re-raising them because they terrified of choosing wrong with the time they feel they have left. And standards that are driven by fear are almost impossible for any real human man to meet. Women start comparing their lives to their friends who are getting married, to influencers living perfectly curated lives online, and even to their own younger, more carefree selves. They're no longer just choosing a man, they're choosing a timeline. And timelines make people panic. Men feel this shift intensely. A man can date a woman in her early 20s and feel completely adored. But that very same woman, now at 30, might make him feel like he's being constantly evaluated, graded, and tested. It's not because she has become cold or meant, as because she is operating under immense pressure. Modern culture has created this narrative that women should have their entire lives figured out by 30. A successful career, solid finances, finding the one, getting married, having kids. It's a schedule that almost no one can actually meet. So when that imaginary schedule starts slipping, raising standards can feel like a defense mechanism. A woman might think, if I choose the perfect man right now, I can still catch up. Or, if I raise my expectations higher, I can avoid making any more mistakes. Or, if I demand more from him, I won't waste any more of my precious time. The intention behind this is completely understandable, but the effect can be devastating. Many women unintentionally filter out genuinely good men because they're searching for perfect timing, perfect alignment on every issue, perfect financial readiness, and perfect emotional availability all at once, right from the start. And a search for perfection is guaranteed to end in disappointment. Meanwhile, men on the receiving end of this become nervous and guarded. They start to feel like they're never enough. They feel like they're being compared to some invisible checklist, a list built from fear, not from love. This is exactly why so many long-term relationships collapse between the ages of 28 and 34. It's often not because the love is gone. It's because the pressure has become too heavy for the relationship to bear. The expectations become so massive that they suffocate the connection that was once there. But here's the twist, and this is the most important part. What women truly want in their 30s is untainted, flawless, perfect man. Deep down, it's a man they can trust with their future. A man who is consistent, grounded. A man who is growing and willing to build with them. Not perfect, just steady, reliable, a partner. But the noise of modern dating, the apps, the advice, the comparisons makes that simple truth very hard to see. The truth is, the best relationships aren't built on one person constantly raising their standards. They're built on rising teamwork. They're built on two people deciding to face the world together. A woman who understands the pressure she's under can learn not to let it sabotage a good love. And a man who understands the fears his partner is facing won't take her anxiety and her high expectations personally. He'll see where it's coming from. A woman's rising standards after 30 aren't the problem. The immense pressure behind them is when you remove fear from the equation, the relationship softens. When you remove comparison, the connection has room to grow. And when you stop chasing a perfect, imaginary timeline, you can find the person who makes the passage of time feel a lot less scary. Modern dating is incredibly complicated, but the core truth isn't. Real, lasting love comes from two people choosing each other, again and again, not from competing with a clock. It's about building something together, not just finding someone who checks all the boxes. Thanks so much for watching. If this resonated with you, be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.